Hey class, we are getting ready to look at a poem by an author named John Donne, who I absolutely love. And you will get a better introduction to him later in the semester. But for today, we're going to look at his poem called The Bait. The Bait is found on page 934 of your textbook. You don't have to go read it now. I'm just letting you know where you can find it. And it is one of the responses to Marlowe's passionate shepherd to his love. However, it's not a response like Raleigh's that you've already read, where it's a direct response. It is dealing with that same subject, same topic, but he's taking kind of a different approach. And I think it's actually a really interesting poem once you get through it. So I just wanted to give you a couple of things to think about and kind of prepare you for it instead of just throwing it to you kind of like a curveball. Um, so it is important to note that Donne is one of the metaphysical poets. And so, roughly, what that means is he is very intellectual and he thinks kind of on multiple layers. And he uses a lot of conceits, which remember, a conceit is like an extended metaphor. Um, the handbook that I have defines conceits as related to Donne and the metaphysical poets as far-fetched, intellectualized, and unusually elaborate comparisons. So yes, you're going to read this poem called The Bait. It's going to be about bait being used to catch fish, but that's not really what it's about, is it? So you are going to have to think on another level, but it's not meant to be like this level where you can't achieve it. It's just okay, if we know this is a type of response to the passionate shepherd, um, that means it should deal with courtship, right? So once we get the basic understanding of the bait, where's the courtship and what does this tell us about courtship? So that's where it becomes really fun. If we're in class, we would go stanza by stanza to really break it down that way. So I encourage you to do that. Read one stanza and then write down next to it what's being said. But the bait is a narrator saying, we can live somewhere near a river and there'll be different baits and hooks that we can use, and fish will come. And basically, the person that the narrator is speaking to, the lover, can step into the water and fish will just come over and they can snatch them out. And it ends in an interesting way. And it says, you don't need deceit, you don't need bait to catch people. You are your own bait. The fish that were not catched thereby, alas, is wiser far than I. Basically, you don't need to use fancy bait like you do in fishing to attract and deceive a fish to come over and grab the hook. You are your own bait, you as a person. But the fish that was not caught by you is wiser than I, the narrator, which is a very interesting turn to have at the end of this. So I'm going to have you guys dive into this with an interactive activity after you watch this video, and I'm excited for you to see what Donne might be thinking